Oh, JM wanted to look at the cast of Wicked and why they were all so creepy. Let's have a look. Let's have a look-see. The following commentary is my opinion only. Don't sue me. Anybody?
Is seriously wrong in Oz because the cast of Wicked just stepped out looking like they survived a tornado, a famine, and maybe a light haunting on the way to the premiere. Fans are zooming in into every photo like FBI agents, comparing before and after shots and asking one big question.
I think the reason why Ariana looks particularly strange, obviously they've all lost considerable amount of body weight, body fat. But I think the reason why Ariana in particular looks very strange is that she's got, in my opinion, don't sue, in my opinion, she has jaw, chin and cheek implants, like submalar implants, and because she's so gaunt, you can actually see the outline of the implants, and that's why she looks so weird. Because there's not typically, like, there's some fat on your face to sort of conceal that, and there's kind of like no blending. It's just sort of like sticking out there. Because if you look at her when she's young, she doesn't have that bone structure. Like, I'm somebody that had a fuller face when I was a kid. Well, most kids have that. And as I've gotten older, like, my cheekbones have sort of popped as I've gotten older. But they don't look anything like this. And I'm Slavic too, so I've got like high cheekbones, but they don't look anything like this. Like, they just don't look like, that just doesn't look like naturally occurring cheekbones. And her jaw is her jaw angle and like her chin in shape in general is so different compared to when she was a kid. Because obviously she's been on telly since she was a little baby. Or like a teenager or whatever. This is all man-made, and what you're seeing is like the outline of like silicone or Gore-Tex or whatever she's got in there. They probably took Ozempic. Do you know what I think it is? I saw this a lot when I was a teenager. I saw a lot of social contagions when I was a teenager. One of them was cutting. Girls cutting themselves was very, very, very big at my high school. And the other thing that was really, really big was competitive eating disorders. So the groups of girls that did have eating disorders, they would basically be in competition with each other of like who could be the skinniest, who would have to go to hospital. We had like 4 girls in my year end up in hospital with like heart conditions because of and they were all in the same friendship group. And you see these social contagions, amongst teenagers especially. But yeah, I think this is a competitive eating disorder because, you know, they're all on the same cast together. They're probably having, you know, film sets are typically catered. They're probably all eating together. And, you know, if one of them's not eating, then the others are like, well, I'm not going to eat either. And then as they start losing weight, they start getting into competition with each other. Yeah, there's a few studies. There's a few studies on competitive eating disorders amongst, like, it's typically teenage girls. But I don't doubt that, like, Hollywood has, like, similar hierarchies to, like, high school. Honestly, it seems like the same type of cutthroat environment. So I wouldn't be surprised if there's like kind of some echoing going on there. But that's my opinion.
Why does everyone suddenly look so drained, thin, and ghost-level exhausted? Let's start with Michelle Yeoh. Now, normally she walks onto a carpet looking like an ageless, martial arts goddess who could knock out a villain with one eyebrow raise. But her recent appearance, people were shook.
Yeah, Ariana Grande, I think that's how you say her name. She was on, is it Nickelodeon or Disney or like one of those? She was on one of those things with the guy that likes feet. What's his name? Dan Schneider, the feet dude. She's lost so much weight. I know, I didn't recognize her. She's in the Mummy movie where they go to China and they have the terracotta warriors that come to life. Not many people know that there's a Mummy movie where they go to China and it doesn't have Rachel Weisz in it. It has some other lady. And it made me sad.
She showed up with this very dramatic blonde bob, very chic, very powerful, but the body transformation is what sent the internet spiraling. Her face looked sharper, her frame looked way smaller, and her arms were so thin people were generally asking, like, is she okay? It wasn't celebrity skinny, it was something, feels off skinny. Fans immediately started comparing older photos of her, and the difference is so dramatic, it sparked an entire health debate overnight. But Michelle wasn't the only one sending the internet into a panic. Ariana Grande and Cynthia Erivo showed up looking like the Wicked production schedule might have eaten them alive and spit out the leftovers. Ariana, whose, fans already obsessively monitor her, looked...
Because I get pushed a lot of because I'm a woman, I get pushed a lot of, because the only social media that I have is Instagram, and I only use it to talk to a few of my close girlfriends and my brother. But occasionally I'll doom scroll. I'll doom scroll Instagram. And there's all these shorts or reels or whatever the fuck they are. I think they're reels on Instagram of people saying, oh, what has Ariana done to her chin? What has she done to her chin? And it's like, no, her chin implant just looks uncanny now because it doesn't blend into the rest of her face. If you look at her profile, it's got exactly the same amount of projection and everything as it always did. It says that she used to have facial fat and it didn't look so weird. Now it just looks like this pointy chin just pointing out nowhere because the angle of the implant looks really harsh. But it's always been there. Well, it hasn't always been there, but it's been there, for probably the last 10 years or so. But yeah, people are just noticing her facial implants now. But if you compare it, she didn't have very strong bone structure as a child. And you don't just all of a sudden, your skeleton doesn't just all of a sudden change, And that's what the girls that get all the filler in their face are trying to achieve, that thing that you can only really do with implants or being blessed with good bone structure, right? When you try and do it with filler, you just kind of end up as an amorphous blob of goo in your face. It doesn't really work, but yeah. I don't know. It is kind of sad. Look, we all know my feelings on Ariana Grande. I don't like people that are whose main hobby in life is to take men that are taken, especially when it's a family with a newborn baby and a woman that's just experienced childbirth, and you come along and steal her husband. Yeah, I have a lot of we know how I feel about that. Not a fan of Ariana, what's her fucking name? But yeah, didn't you know that she stole SpongeBob SquarePants from the guy that she's dating? She stole from... You didn't know this happened? Oh my god, dude, let's go down the rabbit hole. What's his name? I can't even remember his name. I'll just put SpongeBob. It's this guy that she met on Ethan Slater. It's this guy that she met on the set of Wicked. And he looks exactly like her brother as well. If you look at a photo of Ariana Grande's brother, it's really weird. Dude, the whole thing is so weird. Anyway, Ethan Slater, he was married. He had just had a baby. And Ariana Grande was friends with his wife. And she held the baby. And then she stole this guy off his wife, this Ethan Slater guy. And yeah, it's disgusting behavior. And apparently every single man that she has dated since her teens has been in a relationship. And that's kind of her thing. Maybe she had low self-esteem growing up, and her thing is she feels good about herself if she can take a man that's taken. Disgusting behavior. This is his poor wife. Look, this dude was already batting way above, punching well above his weight, Blame the guys too, though. Oh, 100%, he's a fucking piece of shit. But I, as a woman, if I am into a guy and I find out he's taken, I kill that person in my mind. I'm like, nope, you're not talking to him because he's dead. That's what I do. I would never, ever, 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 ever do that to somebody. It's disgusting behavior. Just because I could, in some situations, I think if somebody's into me, I could probably come between somebody and their significant other, but would I do that? No. And would I want a man that I could steal from somebody? Also no. I don't want to be with a fucking cheater. That's gross. Like, there are just things that you do, like moral lines that you have as a person and you don't cross, right? Like, if somebody's in a relationship, that's it. To me, I'm like, that's it, they're dead. Nope, why are they talking to me? They're dead. Why is this ghost talking to me? Goodbye, sir. Goodbye. And that's what you do, you know?
Even smaller than usual, and the conversation around her weight exploded instantly again. People were saying her collarbones were practically doing press tours on their own. Cynthia, who's always had this very powerful, athletic presence, suddenly looked way more hollowed out, like the intense filming sucked the soul right out of her. Her jawline alone could probably cut glass, and not in a snatched way, in a very like, are you sleeping and eating kind of way. People said the whole premiere looked like a before and after collage that nobody really asked for. I mean, even Jeff Goldblum, like usually the picture of eccentric, chaotic vitality, you know, he always looks good to me. I mean, he looked more fragile than usual. The younger cast members, same story. Theories were wild. Some said the filming schedule was like brutal and physically exhausting. Others said the cast went super hardcore into restrictive diets to match their characters' looks. Some insisted the entire cast must have just gone vegan overnight. And a very loud crowd said, nope, this is not aesthetic. This is concerning. The buzz wasn't, you know, they look great. It was, why does everyone look sick? The whole thing turned into a storm of body image debates, accusations of toxic Hollywood standards, and people begging the internet to stop commenting while simultaneously.
Yeah, I think it's 100% a competitive eating disorder. I mean, people that have succeeded in Hollywood are incredibly competitive, right? You have to be. It's a very dog-eat-dog industry. You don't get no nice people. If you see a celebrity and you think, oh, that person's so nice, yada, yada, yada. Like, I haven't worked as an actress or anything like that, but I did work in commercial modeling. And even in that, some of the girls are so cutthroat. They're so psychotic at like castings and stuff. It's absolutely terrifying. And a lot of people that really excel and really are successful in those areas have like, so these are people that are like competitive by nature, right? And yeah, like trying to out skinny each other. You've seen healthier people in your concentration books? Yeah. When JM asked me to look at it, I said, it's like concentration camp chic, right? It's like concentration camp chic. Like, you know, when you see like the prisoners of war, like during World War II that were like at Changi, not going to mention the other types of concentration camps because, you know, the current climate of the world right now. But let's talk about, you know, prisoners of war held by the Chinese during World War II in like Singapore. We can talk about those. Those are, you know, they're our people, so we can, they're Australians, so we can talk about them. You know, people that were building the Burma Railway, when you look at like historical photos of that, right? It's kind of like the same body fat percentage. And you also have to remember that like women have way higher body fat percentage than men. Yeah, women this skinny are not going to have a menstrual cycle. Their body has shut everything down and said, no. You're like, this is the type of body fat percentage in a woman where your body will stop menstruating, right? Because your body's like, you cannot get pregnant, you are gonna die, you're in starvation mode, off you go, right?
Refreshing every new angle. Here's the thing, the difference between their older photos and the premiere photos is so extreme, it's impossible not to talk about it. These actors went from glowing, vibrant, full of energy to looking like they just finished filming the 7th season of a survival show. It's not glamorous, it's not polished, it's not even dramatic lighting. It's a cast that looks collectively exhausted, overly thin, and honestly just unwell. So yeah, something in the land of Oz is off, way off, whether it's the workload, the stress, the aesthetics, the industry expectations, or something we haven't even heard yet. You know, the before and after photos, they tell a story, and it's not a magical one. Let me know your thoughts on this though. I'm your host Ashley, thanks for watching, I'll see you later.
Yeah, if you ever go to Thailand, you can do like a Burma railway tour, and they'll take you to like where like the Australians and the British and stuff were forced by the Japanese to build the Burma Railway, like the River Kwai and all of that stuff. And obviously like Changi is in Singapore. Whenever I see Changi Airport, I always think of Changi concentration camp. Like my brain is just like programmed to think of that because like that was, history was like my thing in high school. I got almost perfect scores in ancient and modern history and extension history as well. So yeah. And the guy that came first in the course came first in the state. So But I came top 5 in the States, so that was still pretty good. Pretty happy. And that is how I got into the University of Sydney, through my history scores, like bumping everything else up. Oh, and my English scores, believe it or not, as a dyslexic were pretty good. Can write an essay. You love Changi Airport. I love it so much. I love the koi pond. I love the koi pond, and I love the butterfly garden, and I love the Louis Vuitton museum. Ooh, I think I have a short about how much I love Changi Airport. But yeah, we love Changi Airport, but not the concentration camp. Although it's not there anymore because World War II ended. But anyway. Ooh, proof Kourtney Kardashian is the most annoying Kardashian of all time. Personally, I hate Kendall the most. I think she's evil. I don't like her. And she's had the most plastic surgery, and people just don't want to admit it. Because she did it all gradually. But she has. Fantastic plastic. But yeah, I don't think that's like Ozempic weight loss. I definitely think that's like eating disorder weight loss, because there was some muscle tone still on people, and when you lose weight from Ozempic, you seem to lose your muscle mass, right? A mate of yours lost a lot of gains, he just didn't eat. Yeah, people on Ozempic typically don't eat enough protein. Well, they can barely eat, right? That's kind of the point, I think. But yeah, I wouldn't trust any weight loss drug. I just lower my calories if I want to lose a kilo or 2. Just increase my activity level. You were on it for a bit. Did you really go on Ozempic? Did you really?